Hi, it's Darryl and Adam here from Welcome to Travel. We are in our brand new office.
Brand new, messy office, because we've literally moved in and not moved in at the same time.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So we thought we'll do a quick video, which Adam will tell you about right now.
Yes, I will. We're going to do a video, we're doing a video right now on farm work. So for those of you who don't know, if you're on your first year working holiday visa, the 417 or the 462 work and holiday visa, you've got the option to extend to a second year visa through doing various types of work. And yeah, we've had a lot of questions about that work, about farm work, both over here and from wherever you guys are watching from. So we actually headed to a town renowned for rural work recently, a town called Mildura, 6-hour drive away, nice long drive. Yeah, really fun drive. And we basically wanted to learn a bit more about farm work. Even though we've done farm work, we do know a lot about it. We just kind of wanted to, yeah, see how the land lies and get a bit more information.
Yeah, so because Adam's technically inept, I put out a question on our Instagram and people asked us all sorts of different questions.
Technically inept or technologically?
Both. And so we wrote down the questions here and answers, so if we refer to the computer, that's why.
Reference point,
yes. But we have a little bit about our own experience doing farm work. So when we first came to Australia back in 2010, we landed in Western Australia, and the first job which we did was on a vineyard. And we were pruning the vines for the wineries, and I hated that job. I'm actually going to put up a payslip right here to show that I made $7.33 per day.
It's a solid wage, to be fair, mate. Solid wage. You were pretty slow though.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, we also picked avocados, and we earned a lot more than $7 a day there. We were picking avocados on a piece rate, same as the pruning. But we were actually earning, well, after tax, we earn $920 a week.
Yeah.
$920 a week after tax. So that's great.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, different examples, different fruits, different needs.
And also, after that, I went tree planting as well, and that was again piece rate, and I was averaging around $200 per day planting trees in Victoria.
That one's a really good example in terms of what we'll mention later with piece rate, because it started badly, didn't it? And ended brilliantly.
So we've broken down the questions which you've asked us into like 6 subsections. There we go.
Easy for you to say.
Obviously not. From all the questions we got asked, so they are what type of work, location and time, pay, where to apply and the process of it, how not to get scammed, and what constitutes to 88 days. And at the end we'll give our own like recommendation. So what we'll do first is the type of work.
That says Darryl next to it, so you've got to do that bit.
Oh, great. So type of work, as Adam mentioned earlier, there's 2 kinds of work and holiday visas. There's work and holiday, which is your 417, and there's a work and holiday at 462. For a 417 visa to get a what constitutes to 88 days is you can either work on plant and animal cultivation, fishing and pearling, tree farming and felling, mining, and also construction. Now, for a 462 visa, you've got plant and animal cultivation in pretty much anywhere in Australia, but then for your fishing and pearling, it's in the north of Australia. Tree farming and felling, it's also in the north. And for another regional option for people on a 462 visa is tourism and hospitality.
That's a joke, isn't it?
That's actually a joke.
Ridiculous. Instead of pruning a vineyard for $7.33 a day,
lucky us,
you can serve wine for probably $25 an hour and you get signed off for second year. That's great. Take advantage of that. Get your second year. Now, where can you do these things? So a lot of people want to know where it's classed as rural work, and it does work on postcodes. So basically in New South Wales, it's everywhere apart from Sydney, Newcastle, Central Coast and Wollongong. Then in Queensland, it's everywhere apart from Brisbane and the Gold Coast. Victoria, it's everywhere apart from Melbourne metropolitan area. Just in WA, it's everywhere but Perth and the surrounding areas. And then in the Australian Capital Territory, which is where Canberra is situated, nowhere is classed nothing is classed as regional Australia.
Well, you don't want it. You don't
want to be there anyway, do you?
No.
And then the 462 visa, when it says Northern Australia, that just means above the Tropic of Capricorn. And in terms of when to do the farm work, it's totally, obviously, season dependent. So Australia is a big place, it's absolutely massive. Right now it's winter down here, hence, and then up north it's it's 25, 26 degrees, and it's dry season. And then when it's hot and summer down here, it's hot and sticky, and it's a wet season up north. So yeah, all different seasons, but there's pretty much farm work all times of the year.
Different seasons,
different fruits.
So one of the most common questions which we got asked was about pay. Now there's two kinds of pay which you can get. It's either hourly or piece rate. Okay, so now hourly is also split into two, where you can either be on a full-time contract where you'll be getting paid $19.49 per hour, which is
marvellous.
Or where you can get a casual contract where you'll be getting paid $24.36 per hour, which is
more marvellous.
Do you want to explain the difference?
Yeah, full-time contract, you'll be getting employment benefits such as sick pay, annual leave, and then casual you won't be. And because of that, that's compensated by adding 25% of that full-time rate to come out with the rate of $24.36.
Now a piece rate is exactly how it sounds like. So a piece rate could be, like for our example, is how many vines we pruned, or how many avocados we picked, or how many trees we planted. Now going back onto the earlier example, so when we were on the vineyard, when we got paid $7.33 per day, that's when we were right at the start. But we'd never done any farm work before, and I was honestly
rubbish, not marvellous.
Not marvellous.
No.
And there's other things which came out of my pay. So for example, transport costs. We also had to hire all the tools as well, didn't we? I remember that. But when we got into farm work, and when we were working on the avocado farm, for example, for the first couple of weeks we didn't make that much money either. However, our bodies got used to it, and after a while that's when we started making higher amounts.
You've got to remember it's a new skill. If you've never picked avocados before, which I doubt you have, then it's going to take a while to get it. So yeah, whatever you're doing right now, if you started that job, or just a normal life skill, like washing the pots on a piece rate instead of per hour, you'd probably be really slow at it and get paid badly. And then you're just naturally going to improve, get into it, and you start competing with yourself, I'm going to make more tomorrow. And it's kind of in your hands. And when Daryl started the tree planting, really slow, and then by the end, just slow instead of really slow. No, you made no money and then made loads of money at the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it is. And there are definitely some scams out there, and it is a flawed system, but you can earn a lot of money on piece rate, and you don't always hear about the good stories.
Yeah, and we'll get onto that in a little bit.
We will. Where to apply and how to apply and the general process of it all. So I think the biggest mistake people make is kind of doing the formal thing, ringing up, getting the resume or CV ready and applying from a city, sitting in Melbourne and applying for jobs. You don't really need a CV, you don't need any experience, you literally just need to be there. So our biggest tip would be to be in the town where there is a lot of rural work. So you've worked out the seasons, you've done a bit of research online, and we'll put some links down at the bottom after. You've worked out there's good season, for instance, in Mildura, where we've just been. There's a lot of work there. So you don't stay here in Melbourne and ring asking for jobs. You go to Mildura and you put yourself in the best position to find work, because that farmer is not loading all their jobs online or advertising on billboards for you to apply. They're ringing the 10 hostels in town and saying, have you got 20 people there? We need 20 people tomorrow. So you could ring every day and get a no and think there's no work there, when realistically there could be 400 or 500 jobs going in Mildura, but it's always going to the people in the hostels, and those hostels are working hostels.
Working hostels are located in those little farm towns as well. So we're going back onto the example of Mildura. So they find you work, so you'll stay there for around 3 months, and so that'll give them 3 months worth of rent. So that's pretty much how it works. And there's quite a good family vibe around working hostels as well. Everyone works pretty much like Monday to Friday, and then Friday, Saturday night, everybody drinks a lot of goon.
Absolutely. And you've got to remember, everyone's in the same boat. So this, as we said, the system is slightly flawed, and not everyone wants to be there farming, but you're in the same boat and people make the most of it. So a big thing we found in Mildura, I don't know if we mentioned we've been, and also in our own farm work experiences, the hostel is like a little family. Everyone's counting down the days, but everyone's also having fun, and we still talk to people we did our farm work with 9 years ago. So it's a really good experience as well. Teaches you a bit about hard work as well, a bit of character building.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go, sentimental.
This is probably the hardest subsection.
It is.
And it is one which we're gonna...
It's not our fault.
Yeah.
The system is
flawed.
Yeah.
So how not to get scammed? Go.
Like on me?
Yeah.
How not to get scammed? Well, as we said, keep saying the system is flawed, but this is about giving yourself the best chance of not getting scammed. So going through a working hostel, a reputable working hostel, is something we'd recommend, because they should have good contacts, and they shouldn't really be working with people like farmers that have a bad reputation, because that will only have a knock-on effect onto their working hostel. Now, you can only know if it's a reputable hostel through two things really: reviews, whether it be online, on Facebook, or on their Google reviews, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, things like that, or through friend recommendations. So if you know anyone that's been there, if you spoke to someone, you can even throw it up on a Facebook post. Has anyone heard of this hostel? Anyone had a good, bad experience? Try and put anyone had a good experience, we'd recommend, because then people answer. You kind of got that out there, rather than just like the bad experiences. And
shall we tell them what we do?
Yeah.
In terms of Sonder.
Yeah.
Or like, we'll turn it around. His debut. This guy. Hopefully that's worked. That's Sonder, our community manager. So whenever we get any potential farm work, we ensure like Sonder looks over it and make sure it's like reputable, because look at the reviews, and then we then distribute it out to everybody who's been on our tour.
And we speak to them as well. We speak to the hostel. So if someone tells us about the hostel, or we've researched one, we'll call them, won't we, and say, what kind of work do you have going on? What time of the year? Is it hourly? Is it piece rate? Like, either's fine, but we just want to know and get it out there and kind of manage expectations. But yeah, Sander is vetting that all the time.
Yeah. How do you feel about your first appearance?
Awesome.
Massive.
Viral. Massive.
And if you are going directly with a farmer, and you're not going through a working hostel, make sure they have a business name and an Australian business number. Like, make sure they're a registered entity, as it were, and that would be a good start. And you need the pay slips and that kind of thing. So make sure at the start that they say they're going to give you pay slips, and it's not just cash and that's it. That's one way. That should ring alarm bells if they're not willing to do that, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get signed off.
And to check an ABN, we'll put a link down at the bottom as well.
A lot of links.
And then I suppose the final part is like, what constitutes to 88 days? Now again, the system is a little bit flawed, and how many times have we rang immigration about this?
Twice. And someone that's been in our tours rang once, all in the same day, 3 different answers.
Yeah, it was great.
Good day.
The hard and fast part of it is, if you work like 5 days a week, so like Monday to Friday, and in that industry like a normal working week is 38 hours, that constitutes to 70...
I don't know what he's on about.
That constitutes to 7 days of work.
Yeah, so you can work 5 days and that counts as a week. So people are like, I thought it was 3 months work, but it says 88 days. But you can do 3 months work because the 5 classes 7. Also, a lot of people ask if you have to do it all in one place. You could literally do 88 days of work in 88 different places, rural places that are classed obviously under all the specifications, and you'd get your 2nd year visa.
Yeah.
The complex bit is what Daryl just said with industry standard, like full time, because you might be doing in your industry full time might be 5-6 hour shifts. So yeah, it's a bit of like a mix there, and immigration give us mixed answers on that, but they say on their website industry standard full time. Also, if you're working a job that's like working straight through for like 15 days and then you've got 5 days off, that also still works out. So if you've got 15 days straight, 5 days off, that'll class as 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a bit complex, but think of it around 88 days, 3 months, and yeah, we'll put some links at the bottom, read the immigration site, and you'll also see why it can seem a bit confusing, but hopefully that clears it up a little for you.
Our recommendations are, just to break it down.
In summary, this is in summary.
So when you're coming over on a working holiday visa or work and holiday visa, do your regional work within the first 6 months so that you're not panicking towards the end of your first year visa and trying to get those 88 days in.
Yeah, good recommendation. And as we said, go to the town where the work is. Don't email and phone and say, there's not much work, I'm not getting many answers. The farmers are not on their emails waiting for your online application. So go to the town where the work is, and when you get to that town, head to a solid working hostel with good recommendations and that say to you, they're not going to guarantee you a job, but there is a lot of work around and they're happy to find it for you.
Yeah, and speak to other backpackers as well who are travelling, whether it's amongst your peers or whether it's like, if you do like a tour like ours, we'll give like recommendations to people who've been on our tour, and a lot of working hostels contact us, going, we've got spaces here and we've got jobs, and then we distribute it out amongst like our travellers.
Our community, and we know they're reputable people, and we've made those relationships so that people get looked after, people that have joined us, so that they can go and have a good farming experience. And apply yourself with a positive mindset, and make sure you remember that everyone's in the same boat, and try and enjoy it. It's a bit of character building, a few hangovers, you learn some things about yourself, and you'll come out a better person.
With a second year visa.
With a second year visa.
So you get to stay here longer.
Yay, marvellous.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.